Hello, my dear students. Today we shall deal about the history of Indian civil services. So, as far as the civil society is concerned, it comprises of the government, public policy, education, citizenship, the voting, which all goes along with the consensus. Coming to the civil services in India, the administrative capability is a major and crucial factor in the success or failure of development efforts. Administrative modernization has been increasingly recognized as an integral part of the development process, as the ability to assume new tasks, to cope with complexity, to solve the novel problems, to modernize the resources, etc., depends upon the administrative capacity based on increased professionalization, bureaucratization, modernization, and of course, the talent. This highlights the role of the public as well as the personal administration. But civil services has its own importance as far as the government of India is concerned because it deals with the welfare of the people. The public welfare being the major motive of the civil services in India. Coming to the history of the civil service of India, the present civil service is mainly based on the pattern of the imperial civil service of the British India. It was formed after the independence of India in 1947, and it was the vision of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel that the civil service should strengthen the cohesion and national unity. And the values of integrity, impartiality, and merit remain the guiding principles of Indian civil services since its beginning onwards. So, when we look into the history, Lord Cornwallis is considered to be the father of modern civil service and police in India. It was the Cornwallis Code of 1793 established the system of civil service. Wellesley set up the Fort William College for training of civil servants in India in 1800, but it was closed down in 1806, and the East India College set up at Haileybury. East India College set up at Haileybury in England. The Charter Act of 1853 ended the company's patronage system and provided for the recruitment of civil servants through an open examination. Satyendranath Tagore, he was the first Indian to qualify in Indian Civil Service examination. The changes introduced by Lord Lytton were the introduction of statutory civil service, and he reduced the maximum age from 21 to 19. Regarding the Hutchinson Committee on Public Services in 1886, it dropped off the terms called covenanted and uncovenanted, and the classification of civil service was made into imperial, provincial, and subordinate civil services. Hutchinson Committee raised the age limit from 19 to 23. Coming to the Lee Commission of 1924, 50-50 parity between Europeans and Indians to be reached in 15 years was its recommendation, and the Public Service Commission was set up according to the recommendations of the Lee Commission. So the creation of the modern civil service called as the Covenanted Civil Service of India from 1861 onwards, and the system of patronage got replaced. Open competitive examinations from 1853, exclusion of Indians initially, but later they got included. Lord Bentinck's efforts to improve the status of Indian officials was a good effort towards civil service in India. So when you look into the timeline of the recruitment, that is before 1854 to 1920, you can have a look at the PPT over there. The civil servants were nominated by the directors of the East India Company. 1855, the first competitive exam. 1864, Satyendranath Tagore got the first Indian to clear the exam. 1922, Indian civil service exam started to be held in India as well. 1893, the first competitive exam held in England. 1920, the decision was taken to open service for Indians. 1921, simultaneous examination held in India and England. 1864, the Imperial Forest Department established. 1867, Imperial Forest Service constituted, and from 1867 to 1885, officers were trained in France and Germany. In 1920, direct recruitment in both India and England were started. So coming into the evolution of the civil service from 1859, so that picture gives you a clear thing of from 1859 to 1879, followed by 1885 to 1950, after the Lee Commission of 1924, the 1935 Federal Public Service Commission. After the Lee Commission, the Government of India Act of 1935 was passed, and in 1950, the Federal Public Service Commission and the Provincial Public Service Commission for every province got established. The system of civil service in India. The appointive positions by the government in connection with the affairs of the Union and includes a civilian in the defense service except the positions in the Indian Armed Forces, or the position of civil servants in a parliamentary system of government. This is essential for the functioning of the government, and has got a steel frame of administration in India right from the colonial days onwards. So since independence, various committees that have made notable suggestions towards the reforms, which includes the Surendranath Committee, Bhavan Committee, and others. As far as the civil service reforms are concerned, it comprises of the structure, recruitment, capacity building, performance and promotion, professionalism and modernity, as well as the accountability. So the All India Civil Services consist of IAS, IPS, IFS. The Central Civil Services consists of Group A and Group B services. The Specialist Services are Indian Statistical Service, Indian Economic Service, and Indian Engineering Services. At the Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D services, the classification of civil service of India and the UPSC list of services, IAS, IPS, IFS, IRAS, IRPS. So around 23 services are there in the Union Public Service Examinations. So the recruitment is being taken care of by the UPSC. Just to have a close summary of it. The civil service was started out in the British ruled India for higher civilian administration duties in 1858, and currently it is one of the most competitive examinations in the world. The bureaucrats, those who actually implement the policies that are laid down by the legislature, are being recruited by the UPSC. Civil servants also frame the policies to be passed by the legislature. As far as the duties and responsibilities of a civil servant are concerned, it composed of the law and order, general administration, implementation of development programs, and it also includes into the different offices like the state secretariats, heads of different public sector units, directors in different public sector units, and at the very top is the cabinet secretary. The very first cabinet secretary was N.R. Pillai from Kerala. The cabinet secretary advises the prime minister of the world's largest democracy, India. The cabinet secretary is the 11th in the order of precedence in India, above the general, admiral, and marshal, and he or she is being selected from the UPSC. Senior most IAS officer occupies the position of the cabinet secretary. So the cabinet secretary is the highest position for a civil servant, and N.R. Pillai was the first to serve the post from 1950 to 1953. Code of ethics for the civil servants: financial, professional, judicial, legal, managerial. Competency framework for the Indian civil service includes the ethos, the ethics, equity, efficiency. And coming to the characteristics of the good governance, it should have the accountability, transparency, equity, and inclusiveness. It must be participatory in nature, consensus orientation, following the rule of law, effectiveness, and efficiency. And 21st April every year is being celebrated as a Civil Service Day, and according to Sardar Patel, you will not have an united India if you have not a good All India service which has the independence to speak out its mind. It was on this day that Sardar Patel addressed the first batch of the civil services and addressed them as the steel frame of India. So the preliminary syllabus. So the UPSC examination is considered to be the most difficult part of examination, and it consists of the preliminary and the main. The syllabus is being reflected over there. The civil services main examination. The main syllabus composed of the 4 papers. So it is the toughest part, but the motivation of the students and the determination makes them to succeed in the examination. And there are lots and lots of civil service aspirants in the contemporary society, and most of the students, being a teacher, I myself observe many students are into the preparation of the civil service examination. So the dream part, this IAS training center, there is the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, IPS training center, the National Police Academy in Hyderabad. Different sorts of examination is being conducted by the Union Public Service Commission, and the people who have been recruited through the Union Public Service Commission are considered to be the civil servants. And it has got the civil service examination, combined defense service examination, National Defense Academy and Naval Academy examination, Indian Economic Service, Central Armed Police Force, Forest Service, Assistant Commandant, Engineering Services, Combined Medical Services, Combined Geoscientist examination. So there are lots and lots of opportunities for the students. So besides the UPSC, the Staff Selection Commission also recruits people. The Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission recruit the people for the services all over Tamil Nadu, and it conducts the examination under the category of Group 1, Group 2 and Group 4, and lakhs of students or the aspirants of the Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission examinations these days. So the civil servants are for the welfare of the people, and they should not be included into the context of the bribery or the criminal misconduct or the forfeiture of property and all those things. The ethics of the civil servant has to be maintained very effectively and efficiently. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video with another important topic.